Hey everybody, Father Michael here. Hope you're all having a good week. A lot of people aren't having a great time, and I'm sure you've all probably seen news stories about people protesting and people getting upset over all kinds of different things. And I think even closer to home, a lot of us are dealing with this in big ways and small ways. And I'd actually just kind of like to talk about that this week. In my own experience, I've really had a sense of loss of not knowing what to do with myself as a priest when my parishioners can't come to the church in the same way that they could before. The fact that I don't see nearly as many people on a day-to-day basis. One thing that priests have mentioned of it's like we're having to learn our jobs totally, relearn our jobs again. And how do you minister to a parish without having people in person? And through this all, there's just kind of this, I've been sleeping a lot and just feeling tired, feeling unmotivated. I know personally for me, one of the things that's been super helpful is been able to talk to other priest friends about this and just find out that it turns out we're all kind of going through the same thing. And my pain and their pain, we're experiencing the same dynamics. And to recognize in that, finding a communion and a unity, even in the midst of this thing that's causing us separation from a lot of the things that are normally life-giving to us. So that's at least been a really good thing, having people to share with. I think that's important for all of us. And if you don't have that, or and you need help finding people with that, that'd be something maybe we can help you with. One of the things I think it's important that we recognize that a lot of us are actually dealing with grief. And if you think about the stages of grief, there's denial, not wanting to accept the fact that things are the way they are. There's anger at the way things are, and also finding people to sort of blame all of our problems on. We have depression, which is not just a psychological thing, but like I was just saying, that can also be physically manifested through being tired, being unmotivated, maybe just being hungry all the time, or not wanting to eat, or lots of different ways. Bargaining, thinking if I can do this, that'll make it all better. And we know from studies on grief that a lot of times we rotate through all of these things before we ever really are able to come to acceptance and sort of deal with the fact that a lot of us have lost sort of our normality of what life is, and we're having to readjust and almost trying to relearn what our lives are and who we are in whole new ways that we sort of haven't had to think about before, maybe feel about before. And I bring those things up just to say if you're feeling these things, you're not alone. And it's part of it is normal, and it's hard for sure. It's hard. But it's important that we remember that those things also don't define our lives, that ultimately our lives are defined by something which is bigger and greater than us, which is the love of God. And we need to always make sure to bring that into this and to remember that, every time we look at the crucifix, we're reminded that God can bring about great good through very difficult and painful experiences. And so I just encourage you all in this time to really turn your hearts over to the Lord, especially in your pains and in your suffering, and just give to Him what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, and ask Him to bring something good out of it. And what that looks like, it doesn't end up looking the way we want it to, or the way we think it will, or the way we think it should. But when we actually experience and see how God's grace has moved and worked after something really hard and difficult, it's oftentimes surprising but beautiful. So I just want you all to say to you all, I'm in solidarity with all of you, and we're in solidarity together. And I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it, when we're turned to the Lord in prayer, we're always united. And, so just know I'm continuing to pray here. The church continues to be open. We're open at least from 9 to 3 every day, from Monday through Friday, and at least from 11 to 1 on Saturday and Sunday. A lot of times I'll be here a little bit longer. Michelle will be here longer, so sometimes church doors are open longer, and hopefully maybe we can make it even more open as the weeks go on. But whenever we're in prayer, whenever we turn to the Lord, we know that we have not just union with Him, but union with one another. So miss you guys. Hope you're all well. Continue to let me know if you need anything. Email me if you need sacraments. Call the office. If there's anything else we can do. Hang in there, everybody, and let's just keep following Jesus together in our families and in our homes and in what we got going on. So have a good week, everybody. God bless you all.